I want to give a shout out for you allowing me the opportunity on this great platform once again, Baba TV, and it is fire every time. I want to thank the viewership out there for consistently tuning in and getting this real talk, this real knowledge, and we're going to keep bringing it to you live, raw, uncut, and organic. I also want to give a shout out to my brother right here. You know what I'm saying? This is Brother Al. Shout out to the people.
I'm Brother Al, aka Goofy. I'll be all over, baby. Now, I mean, if you need black power, knowledge, whatever, holla at your brother. Now, I mean, we out here, the Bronx, Harlem. Now, I mean, New York,
Boston, East Coast, West Coast, we all over. However, this is one of my brothers also from the UNITEAM, which is a study group that we have, which is an educated, dedicated approach to contributing to black liberation and principled unity through our collective interest in scholarship, which is the blueprint to liberating our people, which first starts in the mind. So we have a study group as a unity initiative and something as like a think tank initiative as well. All right, so be tuned, stay tuned, because we're going to be starting to do things on our platform with Sankofa and the UNITEAM, man. All right, and start your own out there, start your own study groups. It's imperative that we have principled unity. But jumping right in, feet first, into what you said, brother, about Paris. Wow, it's deep, because all this week, the prior week, as we know that the incident in Paris just took place about almost a week ago. I mean, I go on to Facebook and I see all these black people with on their picture profile with the none of them I know, most of them I never seen with a red, black, and green one. And if you did have one and put a France one on you, shame on you. But there's still a chance for redemption. Maybe you don't know better, so you don't show better. So that's why this platform is important. We're going to edify you and try to transitionalize your mind state and your thinking in putting that in, because I'm not going to condemn everybody's ignorance. We have to have a level of sensitivity towards the ignorance of our people. But then along some lines, that comes with judgment and evaluation and observing, obviously. Along some lines, it's just intolerable, and we got to shun some of the cats. You know what I mean? Until they come correct. But when I seen that, I mean, in a way I was kind of hurt. At first I was a little shocked. I was a little confused. Why do all these niggas got so much goddamn in France all of a sudden? Where was the camaraderie so and the connectivity and the concern so deep rooted for France? I was like baffled, behooved, confused, a little angry, and even a little offended. As a person that is on a platform that we are on, like many others out there who really want true black liberation in the face of injustice and global white supremacy, you know, when we see an attack happen in a place like France, and let me say this too before I go in, the death, destruction, and the harm or hurt to any, or to human life generally, is not something that a civilized person just relishes in. As a warrior and as a person on the front line, you know, there were people that were caught up in that situation that were victims of what was considered, what I would consider collateral damage, because it is bigger, the scheme or the machination or the agenda is bigger than what you've seen transpire in France. But looking at the psychology of the minds of the people is what really, I mean, all kind of red flags went off. I was like, man, I gotta raise the alarm on these brothers. I gotta cause a level of you know, we gotta blow the trumpet of truth, expose the contradictions and wake us up. Because for black people to sit there and cover their face, their profile picture on Facebook, and there was a lot of us, a lot of our people, not us, because I wasn't in the us factor, but a lot of our people that was on there doing that. And I was behooved, Al, Brother Baba, I was like, what the hell is wrong with us? Now let's look at the history of France. Oh, France, a world power at one point. A world power at one point, you know? In fact, it was in 1804 that Toussaint L'Ouverture and Dessalines and many other proponents of the Haitian Revolution conducted a very successful revolt against the French army under the rulership at the time of Napoleon, you know? and you know, we basically got them up off of our backs. But there was a ripple effect that happened to Haiti as to why Haiti is so poor and disenfranchised now. You know what I mean? Yeah, they got there because they burnt down. You know, with a war, you need not only a standing army, you need resources. And resources, in order to have resources, you need wealth. So you need wealth and a standing army in order to have an infrastructure or a military base to protect your infrastructure and your agenda. By them in Haiti not only cutting white throats and killing white folks and standing up like the spirit warrior, the warrior spirit that is in them, they've exhibited many a times throughout history, Haiti, but also they were very intelligent in knowing that there's an art to war, and that the people in France outmanned, outnumbered them, and out-resourced them. So what they did is, because you need resources or wealth to have a standing army to fight a war and to be successful, what they did a lot of times to help them win the war is they burned a lot of their vested interests, which is, you know, resource. They went there to be brought on a plantation, which is agricultural global market then, which was chattel slavery was based on, the global market that was rooted in agriculture. So they burned up a lot of the agricultural areas. So the coffee, which was a big import down there, you know, cotton, all kind of other things that French had a vested interest in, because it wasn't just slavery. There was investment companies, there were shipbuilders, there was insurance companies, there were men that they had to feed, there were overseers, slave masters, the slaves themselves. So when you burnt down there and you was cutting throats, they overwhelmed the French power structure so much that they had to subside, they had to fall back, allowing Haiti to become the first liberated slave colony in the Western Hemisphere. And these dirty French, that's right, the one whose flag that a lot of our lost, misguided, uneducated, miseducated people blindly and shallow-mindedly put on their profile picture on Facebook. What you don't understand is that what French did was they charged Haiti with reparations, tax slave reparations, because all the money that they invested, they had to pay the insurance companies back, the shipbuilders back. There was money invested that the French colony, there was a colony of the French government. Now the powers in the hierarchy had to get paid back. So what they did was, these dirty bastards, was they charged Haiti for reparations because they've lost a lot of their vested interest in France. This is French. These are the crackers that you feel sorry for, because karma, when a lot of you don't even know what's going on, a lot of our people, black and white, but I'm talking about our people because my message is for us. Right. Okay, first and foremost. Okay, I am a race firstist. So the point in the knowledge that I'm kicking, anybody can absorb it regardless of what your ethnicity, background, or racial, race is. However, first and foremost, the message is for the people. So to see our people, I ain't from Haiti. Some of our people blind would say that. But you got to understand the position that French had, the racism that was so strong and so thick and in so many layers in France, that even in West Africa, where still a lot of our people come from, although they were brought to America, came from places that were colonized by the French still. And there's over 14 different countries in France to this day that still have to pay the French government for the tax slave debt, for daring to ascertain their own liberation from under French rule, colonialism, and imperialism. Yes, to this day. So when they say that you reap what you sow, and a lot of our people may say, well, I believes in the Bible. We's believes in the Bible. And I'm using a dash of humor because we know a lot of our people don't talk like that. Okay? So just rock with me and walk with me.
The ones you talking about talk like that, though.
Some of them think like that, even if they don't talk like that. The mindset is reflective of what I'm talking about. Not verbally or verbatim they talk like that, but it's a mindset that reflects back in the time of the mental condition and social re-engineering of the black conditioned mind, which makes him forgive his master, condemn himself, feel sorry for his master. What's the matter, boss? We sick? Y'all was on some what's the matter, boss? We sick type shit. when y'all had that face of France, I mean the flag of France on your profile pic on Facebook. It was on some mess matter, boss. We sick. We sick. Not are you sick. Not what did you do, master. We's at war. They's attacking us. You know what I mean? We got to get that way of thinking out of our mind, but we got to understand the dichotomy of how we became to think like that and versus why we shouldn't think like that and why it's in our best interest. If you understand French, there's a stamp in France. I want y'all to go look that up. France, a stamp in 1912.
1912.
And it has a whole bunch of heads. I built like 12 to 15 heads, and they're just sitting on a wall. Obviously, these heads are decapitated, obviously. And this was done by the French powers that be. You know, of course, their military apparatus. You know, they're mercenaries. And what it was the Moroccans. Over 240-something people dead, women and children. No universal outcry. No global outcry. No media coverage. Your life doesn't matter to the white man. Even the Million Man March, where there was no bloodshed or murder, and it was a good thing because we went there in a spirit of peace, love, and solidarity, and principled unity. Here it is that it got no media coverage. And this is the media central of the goddamn world, one of them, America. But if something's a riot in Ferguson or in Baltimore, oh, the media is there calling you all kind of savages. But here it is, we had over 2.5 million people that showed up in a spirit of love and camaraderie. Not one arrest to my knowledge, not one negative incident to my knowledge. Hold up, and no media coverage. You know what I mean? At all. Because the only time they're going to cover you now, terrorism, which is the dichotomy of something positive happening in D.C. and something negative happening, your life doesn't matter when you're lost, and the positive things you're doing doesn't matter to the white man anyway. He is making you insignificant. He is desensitizing you and us to our own plights and the struggles that we're dealing with. The media is a powerful propaganda tool mechanism, and they can use it to sway public opinions, to imbue people with a perception of globally or politically, and they can make things seem irrelevant or not valid or not anything that should be considered. That's the power of the media. That is the power of, when I say media, I don't just mean visual media, I also mean propaganda in the form of books, literature, newspapers, articles, you know what I mean? It goes on.
Multi-ethnic destruction in America.
And it is done strategically. So, you know, I think a lot of us, you have the right as a human to feel sorry for the murder or suffering of any other human. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you should be as militant as Brother Sankofa. But God damn it, we need to employ a sense of nationalism amongst ourselves, because we don't have that, and we wonder why we're losing, why we're on the bottom on every damn level of people people activity. We're losing on every damn level. Yeah, the East Indian don't have to hate the white man. All of them. Some of them do. All of them don't. I'm not their spokesperson. I'm not here to speak for them. But I bet you they practice nationalism. That's why they have a culture intact right here in America. Their women can walk around with the dart in their forehead and their garment and own a store right in your community. They don't have to assimilate for you to accept them, because they have nationalism. They didn't let cosmopolitanism make them subside from their nationalistic perspectives and objectives. So yeah, some of them can be whitewashed, and some of them can infiltrate into the system and become a cop and lose their Indian accent and culture and talk white, or as we consider it, talking suburban or white. But they have enough cultural continuity and racial integrity for them to be a respected force as a people that have sovereignty and a culture anywhere they go. Us, we all want to assimilate. We all, or too many of us, want to forgive. We all want to turn our back on what happened, because that was the past. I was a new, evolved human. We got to get our minds out of that way of thinking, because that mind has been proven to be a detriment. Where's that black power thing done? Well, the black power thing has been considered a threat by the United States government for a reason. For a reason. Now, I do believe that aspects of the black power concept and ideas are outdated methodology-wise, Methodology-wise, not ideologically. Ideologically, we still need that. For the first law of nature is self-preservation. And nationalism is what I mean by when I say that. Our best interests, our future, our goals, our objectives, our children's children. What is it that we're going to do? We have been written out of any respectable commentary in human history. And we're being planned to be wiped out now. That's a fact. All these agendas. Memorandum number 46. The Tavistock Institute. All kind of different things. J. Edgar Hoover's counterintelligence program. The AIDS epidemic, the crack epidemics, the hip-hop thing when they took away conscious rap and used the people recorders as intermediaries to promote the degeneracy and homicidal type of music so they can fill the prison industry. That's why there was a collaboration between people who own prison industries and record execs. This stuff is what you're dealing with. It's not a conspiracy theory. And because somebody who's going to come shed light on, expose the contradictions and tell you need to wake up and be black and be strong is a threat.
That's black power.
That's black power. We're trying to empower ourselves, and for knowledge is power, but then it first starts with education. Don't say all y'all niggas doing is talking. Nigga, what are you talking about? It's what you're talking about that makes talking irrelevant. When you go to school, they're talking in math class. When you're in college, in history class, whatever art you're taking up, or field of studies you're taking up, they are talking. We can't just stop at talking, though. I agree with that. Now, black power is not outdated. The whole concept is not outdated. Maybe methodologies, not maybe, definitely, need to be upgraded.
Not to stop you, Coco. Well, a great example, y'all don't talk about reporters just talking. They're reporting, so that's what we're doing. We're reporters.
Very good point. Say that again. We're
reporters. Like, they don't tell the reporters, they just talking. You got reporters out there saying somebody getting robbed right down the block. What are they doing? You know what I'm saying?
And based on reports is what informs people, and based on the information that people have is how they act or react to what it is that was reported to them. Right. So we're hoping to get a reaction that is counter-slave mentality and pro-revolutionary in reporting to you the information that we're conveying. And I thank you for that, Bill, because it was a good way for me to alley-hoop into my point.
Uniteam, brother.
Uniteam, that's why we're called that. You know what I mean? And you may say, well, he seems militant, it's rhetoric. It's not empty rhetoric. It's real, and it gets deep, and everything can't be talked about, goddammit, in front of a lens for 25, 30, 45 minutes. However, we are reporting and bringing it to you and giving my perspective, and I'm always open for constructive criticism, and I'm also open for network for those who are serious about elevating, expanding, and building a paradigm. You know what I mean? Because that's what nation building is. Nobody has all the goddamn answers, but collectively we have a lot, and if we can pool those resources and our intellectual properties and our financial resources and root it in the love of the people, nationalism, the love of the collective, then we can break a lot of the shackles. We can change a paradigm. We can rewrite what we have been written out of and do it again and better, because it is our time. Well, you have to know that. Well, you have to believe that. We have to want that. If you do feel sorry for France because you're just a person that you don't like to see human suffering, I'm never going to condemn you and say you're buck dancing and wheeze, what's the matter, boss, we sick. That's not what I'm saying. Peace, queens, y'all travel in harmony. I get that baby, that beautiful baby home safe. You see? However, out of the love for my people and out of the anger for the injustice that I see, and as a person that has been on the front line, who have dealt with it, not just read about it in books or seen about it in documentaries, but went on the front line and dealt with it and dealing with it in society, because I see the injustice in 3D, HD, and surround sound in the reality in which we live in. Yes, there was a strong outcry against injustice and for the upliftment and the reawakening of the sleeping giant among our people. Farrakhan said something powerful. He said you could never send a pussycat to awaken a sleeping lion. So I'm not going to come to you all soft and tender. There was a time for that when we're networking, but the topic itself at hand, the point that I'm pondering or trying to get you to critically evaluate at hand, doesn't require a pussified tactic. I have to be strong. That is my spirit, and that's who I am. I am a warrior for this. I'm going to die for this, you know? But at the root of it, it is rooted in a love for the people. Nationalism, okay? So Put some red, black, and green up on your pages. Respect yourself and your ancestors and a plight, and then my offer, or the hell, or the enslavement, or the Holocaust that we've been through. Doesn't mean that you can't feel bad for the human suffering of others, but love self and kind first. If I don't ever see you caring about or moaning or mourning or concerned with the struggles and the suffering and the contemporary, we're not talking about the past, contemporary conditions of injustice that is being contributed against your own people, then God damn it, when you put something up from another nation that's suffering, it is half-assed, it is bootlicking, and it is buck dancing. If you don't have the same or exhibit the same compassion, solidarity, and concern for your own. Because the first law of nature is self-preservation. And when we say self, we don't mean in a selfish way, individually. It does mean that, but we're talking about as a collective. Because as an individual person, you are a part of a collective reality called a community, called a nation, or called a race. You are only a part of that. An ant is not just an individual ant. An ant is a part of a whole ant colony in reality. You know what I mean? Just to give you clarity on, you know, the whole point that I'm making. I like that B hat, my G. All right. So yeah, other than that, we are getting our study on hard. You know, the harder the conditions are, the harder the level of, or as strong as the level of ignorances are, it makes us go harder. It makes us study harder. It makes us, you know that if the love is in you and is the root of the people, is why we're here talking about these critical matters, and we're evaluating and discussing things, and we're exposing contradictions, and we're learning from the viewership, and we're learning from each other. The reason for that, it is rooted in the love of the people and the hatred for the conditions that you will see condemning us, or oppressing us, or keeping us from acquiring or ascertaining true liberation. Okay? And as a nationalist, that's why I rep this. I rep this to the fullest, and I'm going to continue to. You know why? You can be whatever you are. You can be a Moor. You could be a Hebrew, because we're going to be that anyway. Reason why I stand on the foundation of nationalism is because we are going to be diverse. We are going to have differences. We're going to have different breakdowns and manifestations of culture, who we are and why we should call ourselves that. That's not going to change the paradigm that internally we have differences. Externally, there is an agenda to eradicate our existence from off the planet. So internally, we have those differences, but there is an external component that doesn't give a damn about any of our internal differences that we have to ponder for our collective self-preservation. Thus, and henceforth, nationalism for the self-preservation and advancement of our people. Could you walk around, brother? It's all right. That's why it's not good to text and walk. Yeah.
Yeah, be careful crossing the street.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's why nationalism. I take the stance of nationalism. I'm not going to sit here and talk about what we did in Kemet, even though we should know that 10,000 years ago. That's good, and we should know that. Because psychologically it's important that we know about the greatness of our ancestry. But the same way when you go to school, and life is a school, you don't just study history. History class ain't going to teach you how to operate in the world. It ain't going to teach you how to add and subtract. It's not going to teach you how to build an infrastructure. It's not going to teach you about medicine. You have to know history though, okay? Because it is a conglomerate of knowledge and information that we have to put into perspective and have as a nationalistic perspective if we are going to be competing and successful and liberating ourselves in a global evolving world and an advancing world. So yes, just like in school you study history, you also study math and science. So we have to go into all of these things and also study the science of how to apply the knowledge that we've just acquired. How do we manifest this in real time to become practical, to work for problem solving? Because we have a lot of goddamn problems, black people. I don't got to preach to you or give you no science about that, I hope. I know I don't. But we have to understand that nationalism, with everything that we have to look at it as a weaponized type of paradigm to protect, to produce, to advance, and to use in a practical manner to break the shackles, and there are many of them on us. Our shackle isn't just not knowing history. That's not the only shackle we have. So here it is, you can know history, but you're still an unreformed, degenerate, self-hating, egotistical nigga. What you know in history, all you're going to do is come before the people, dropping dates and times, but you're still that same old unreformed nigga that just knows a lot about history. And that can be used as a tool for the division that is you still see persisting and dividing and destroying us as a people. We all have to upgrade. We all have to evolve. We all have to build and expand. You know, I was created to be creative. I was created to be a creator right here. So we have to learn and use our creative powers and our capabilities for a nationalistic, because we are not fighting as individuals against white supremacy. It's not the Hebrews against white supremacy. It's not the Moors and the white supremacy only against the Moors. God damn it, they're against all of us. From their most ignorant, what they consider nigger in the street, or in prison, or that they want to see in prison, that's in elementary school, through that pipeline from school to prison, all the way to the brother at the top echelon who has respect in the community as a leader and as a teacher and one very disciplined and really concerned about the upliftment of the people. Everybody from that top to that bottom and every levels of consciousness in between, no matter what they call themselves, what they wear, what their symbol is hated by the enemy and has been written out of any kind of future structure in the world that's evolving into a new world order. So in order for us to combat that, nationalism is important. Your belief and your history and your perspective is all due respect, but it's bigger than that and it's way beyond that. And we have to look at these things in proper perspective and apply it as such, because if not, God damn it, we are contributing to our own defeat, our own oppression, and everything that happens to us. We're gonna have to look back and say, damn, all the science, all the history, all the people claiming that there was God, all that we knew about law, all we knew about scriptures, all we knew about black power ideology never worked, because we never instituted it the right way.
I got a good one. All the brothers and sisters that keep using that stupid word believe, look up the word belie and then look up believe. And I truly believe your conscience, you'll stop using that word, because it don't mean nothing. It's stupid. It's a lie. It has no benefits to nature at all, and your nature. So how are you gonna benefit off of something that it's like hoping for something. You hoping, like if mommy leaving and she don't tell you where she going, you don't know nothing, you're gonna hope she come back. You don't know if she's coming back. You're just hoping that. So it's the same thing when believing. It's a belief.
I would say replace the term belief, because I do believe there's connotative and there's denotative ways in which you can use words to express a point. I don't believe that everybody who says belief is just lost, but most of them are. So there's validity still to the point. And when you spell the word belief, and spellings have spells on them. That's why you call it spelling a word. And when you say words, they have a spell on you. That's why it's called spelling them. Look at the word belief. B-E-L-I-E-V-E. The word lie is in the word belief. So just because you believe it doesn't mean it's true or worthwhile. It can be, your belief can be predicated upon a lie that keeps you stagnant from ever achieving anything that you believe that you could.
Then they got the word.
Okay? Now, I would say replace the word, and the word believe, like the brother said, and look it up, is the believe and belief, and look at the connection. However, you also, maybe, words are powerful, They have attraction power, they have spelling power, they have healing power, they have condemning power, they have an emotional connection power. Okay? Look at the word, maybe instead of replace with belief, if those who are interested in it, should I use then? I don't just know everything, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and that's true too. There has to be a measure of confidence or some kind of faith.
That's no question.
You know what I mean? Now, I would like confident. Have an intellectually driven confident. You know what I'm saying? A person who wrote a blueprint for things, or a person who came up with an idea, he didn't know if to live to see what was going to go through, but he had confidence. And in his confidence, he kind of knew it would happen. It was just a matter of when and how. It wasn't a matter of believing anything. You know what I mean? However, his confidence helped him and allowed him to have the faith that I had the audacity and the intertesticular fortitude and the intellectual capacity and the mental strength to be able to accept rejection or failing at the first 3 or 4 or 5 times, to still stay steadfast and to drive his point, his endeavor, his objective home, to make it manifest into a reality. And we have to have the same undertaking, the same perspective of any individual endeavors that we're embarking on. Hopefully it's positive, and as a collective, as a nation, because this whole point and this whole platform, my family out there listening, the viewing audience, is for empowerment and is to uplift a race. It's to awaken a sleeping people. This is not just done for fun. I can't speak for everybody, but nobody coming out here getting on video, worrying about people critiquing them, or coming up with foolishness to talk about on comment boards, or seeing what you look like and might hate you in public, and they know what you look like, but you don't know what they look like because there's more people viewing you, and you don't know who's behind the lens watching you, and potentially putting your health or even your life in danger to bring a message that you feel is readily important, critical, and pertinent to the liberation of our people. This is the sacrifices that we make, among many of the sacrifices. These are the chances that we take. This is not about vainglory, and if you are, which was hidden will be made manifest. You will become exposed. Your boat already has a hole in it. It's a matter of time before you sink. So the whole purpose of this matter and this platform and us having these dialogues is for you. It is for us. It is for the collective objective. And what is that objective? Self-preservation, right?
Yep.
Upliftment, empowerment, and advancement. You know? A lot of the things we talk about, what's the problem? We got problems. But then when we come with solutions, do you network with people with them solutions? Do you add a solution-oriented type of viewpoint to the solution that somebody may have that you may say, hey, that may be good, but it could be tweaked or upgraded. Let me add, in a positive level, a solution orientation type of format or blueprint that I feel like. We don't always have to have a debate. We could have a solution workshop. A solution-oriented workshop. What ought the black man to do? That's real school. It's about using this knowledge for problem solving. You can know all the history in the world and feel elated that I know history and dates, and that's important. But it's not that helpful by itself. Because as I said, and I'm going to say it again, school has more than just history class. You have a lot of different subjects that you have to learn and learn to apply for a reason, because it's necessary for you to be a functional person or to advance in the world in which you live in. You just knowing history and us just knowing dates and us just quoting people that made the history. No, you're supposed to pick up the baton or the torch or what they passed to you and take it on another level. We are supposed to do that. That is the whole purpose of that. You know, but we've been rocked back to sleep after they were murked off in the 70s and 80s through crack, cheap heroin and drugs in the community, the assassination of political organizations and our leadership. Oh yes, the CIA was behind that. Oh yes, there is an opposition and an enemy out there, and it's not a conspiracy theory. Oh yes, if you don't understand this, you are gonna lose, and you are fighting a battle. If you're even just daring to fight, you are fighting a battle against yourself via your ignorance and your shallow-mindedness, not considering the opposition that is against you. Because if you know yourself, but you don't know your enemy, you will lose every time you go to war with him, if you even consider you have an enemy. Yeah. But if you know yourself and you know your enemy, you would go to war. You may win some wars, you may lose some, but you're playing on the more even ground. Right. Knowledge is power, so empower yourself with knowledge. And on that note, I want to say peace, Hotep, Uhuru Sasa, and family, keep tuning in. Educating your mind. We don't have all the answers, but I believe collectively as a people, we damn sure could resolve a lot of our issues. We are the solution to our problems. We are the problem, but we are also the answer. Let's tap into them answers that are within us. It's in our DNA. Let's tap into that Godship, y'all. Peace and black power.